What we do here is go back.
This is Eat and Drink, the mini episode, hosted by Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Some mature content and language may come up, so consider yourself warned. Now, get ready for Eat and Drink.
Last week we did wine and cheese, and now this is a mini episode. But I want to say, I want to start talking. Well, first of all, this is Ali Hassan.
Hi. Just sit here in silence.
The first thing I ever learned to make as a kid was grilled cheese. But I don't make it in the typical way that people are familiar with grilled cheese.
How do you insult grilled cheese? How do you offend grilled cheese?
Because I remember making it for Amanda one time, my wife, and she's like, "That's how you make grilled cheese." I go, "That's the first way I ever learned to make grilled cheese."
And this was independently, or somebody taught you this?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, has your mother or father ever made you a grilled cheese? Is it different? Do you have a unique way compared to the rest of your family?
I think this is, I must have been taught, or I must have seen something like this.
Let's
So
end
what
the
I would do
suspense
is
here.
I
What
would
do you do?
take, as a kid, toast bread, what we call toast bread. What do you call that bread?
We call it bread, buddy.
Yeah, but we don't call it bread. That's not bread for us.
When you
'cause-
say toast bread, you mean a loaf in slices.
Yes. Because as a kid growing up, I was used to the traditional Italian bread. So the calabrese bread, which is a big, crusty, round circle, or baguettes, or a variety of like rustic-looking bread.
Yeah.
So we would always distinguish it as a kid as toast bread
Yeah.
or pane, or regular bread. Pane being Italian for bread. Panino being little bread,
Yeah.
which we make sandwiches out, which people know, and they'll say paninos, which is not the pluralization of the word in Italian, which is panini. And then they'll say panini when they want the singular,
Right.
panino. So anyways, enough about that. So I would take my toast bread, which me and my sister will still call it toast bread to each other.
Yeah.
Get the bread. What do you want? The toast bread or the regular bread? No, just the toast bread. Okay. Put it in the toaster.
So even if it's not toasted, it's still called a toast
Oh,
bread.
yeah, 'cause
because
that's-
it's destined for toast. You know, that's what it's used
Because
for.
what else do you do with that garbage bread?
You could not toast it. You just make a sandwich with some cold cuts and whatever in it and have it, if it's fresh.
If
fresh.
I'm using cold cuts, the last bread I'm going to use is toast bread for my cold cuts.
What if
I'm going to
you're-
use baguette. I'm going to use
Maybe you're in
calabrese
a
bread. I'm going to
desperate
use
situation. I don't know. I don't know
bagel.
your
I'll
life.
even use a bagel before I'll use toast bread.
Okay. A lot of hate for something that you brought in your house quite a bit there, Marco. A lot of hate for a product that you really purchased quite often.
We actually didn't have toast bread in the house that often. Okay, so back to my grilled cheese. Toast it. I'd put it in the toaster.
Yeah.
The toast would come up. I would slice my cheese. Generally speaking, you might remember this from the episode before. In my house, we would have friulano. So I would use friulano, or if we had the American cheese, that cheddar cheese, those slices, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Put that on the toast bread. Put them face up with one slice on each. Put it in the microwave for 30 seconds till it melted.
Okay.
Smash them together. That was my grilled cheese.
It never gets grilled.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It never gets grilled. I never thought of that. But there wasn't a copious amounts of butter on it. It was fairly light, a light snack. It was fast to make. I didn't have to heat up a pan. And as a kid, it was very easy to do.
The fact
and
that
I
your
still
wife-
do it. I still do it to
The
this
fact
day.
that your wife stays with you, despite the fact that you're doing that still to this day and calling it grilled cheese, is a testament to what an understanding, open, tolerant person she is.
Then let me ask you this. What was the first thing you made as a kid?
Well, I actually, idiot that I am,
Yes.
I insulted my mother's sandwiches. I don't know if I ever told you this. She used
You
to.
did say it on
I
the air,
did say
yeah.
that, right? So she, God bless her, 50, 60 hours a week she's working. At night, she makes a sandwich. It's tomato and cheese. What happens with tomato and cheese and bread? It gets pretty soggy. So I would have soggy sandwiches every day. And I'm looking at my buddies who I go to school with. Some of them, mothers or housewives are really making gourmet lunches from my, young brain perspective.
What's a
And I got-
gourmet kid's lunch?
Well, it's like different containers. It's compartmentalized. Zach Moose had corned beef on rye. I'd never had rye. I didn't even know what corned beef was. Then there was a container of pickles. Then there was a separate container of chips. Then there was some other vegetables.
I don't know this Zach Moose, but I think I'd be friends with him.
Oh man, he was the best. His mother babysat me. It was like paradise every single day.
Amazing.
Anyway, so we would, soggy sandwich, and then one day I said to her, I go, your sandwiches taste like shit.
Wow.
And that did not fly, as it shouldn't have. One of my kids said
How
that
old
to me
were
today.
you?
13 or 14. maybe
Wow.
14.
Old enough to know better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I had rage issues. Come on, man.
Wait, the first meal you ever made for yourself was at 14?
So then I
Dude,
started
I was making these grilled cheeses that you shit talk when I was like 8 or 9.
But you make them to this day. That's why I'm shit talking them. You know better.
When
know better.
When you're a kid and you make something that's fantastic, you stick with that.
Microwave grilled cheese. Anyway, listen, I don't even know where to start with
Okay,
you.
go.
But
Tell me about this. So already
so then
you're
I
the
was
bad guy.
making my sandwiches.
Yeah.
I was making omelets.
Okay.
And I
That was
would
the
put-
first thing you made as a
I
13-year-old
think
kid?
I'd made that previously on weekends.
Okay.
So now it's like one of the few things I know how to make. So now I'm taking bread. I'm putting an omelet in it. My dad would always buy Boursin cheese. I don't know if you know what
Yeah, of course.
Boursin
I mean,
is. This
come on.
French cream cheese.
It's amazing.
So Boursin, and then like an omelet, and the omelet would have like black olives in it. At some point, I was like searching for how do you make a. There's no internet. We don't
Right.
have any like cookbooks in my house for at that age
Right.
for. So without guidance of any kind, just like real experimentation, I was a guy taking omelet and French cream cheese sandwiches to school every day because of my big mouth.
Right.
I screwed myself over, but in the end, it worked in my favor. We are now, so we're in a situation in my family home. I got daughters who are 16 and 14.
Okay.
And a lot of 16 and 14-year-olds making their own breakfast
Sure.
and making their own lunch.
And we're not talking about, put some cereal in a bowl and there you go.
I mean, we could even be talking about that.
Okay. Because I don't think that constitutes making a meal for yourself.
No, not at all. My girls can absolutely do that.
Sure.
I live in fear of my house burning down.
Oh, man.
I just live in fear of, and
Right.
if I do it, it's one thing. But if one of my kids do it,
Do you have a good insurance policy?
I think we do.
Because I think that's what you need to make sure.
That's really the issue here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because the 16-year-old, sometimes my wife and I want to fuck off. We want to
Sure.
go somewhere. We
Yeah.
want to go to a movie.
Yeah.
And we have a popcorn machine. So even with the popcorn machine, you're like, unplug this thing, don't
Right.
overheat it, blah, blah, blah. Just because kids are careless.
Kids are careless, yeah.
Like, do we tell you every day, make your bed, you don't make your bed. We tell you every day, don't forget your water bottle, you forget your water bottle. Like, there's just, like, I'm turning into my dad. My dad used to be like, when I told my dad that I was marrying my wife and she has 2 daughters.
Right.
He went back 20 years to something he said 20 years ago. He goes, Ali, you don't even know where your contact lenses are half the time. How are you going to take care of 2 children? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to be that guy. I want to be more supportive and encouraging. But I think at the end of the day, it just means practice over and over again. Practice. And you just have to be like, and turn it off and turn off. And as soon as it's off, you put it into the oven or
Sure.
whatever, But I want to, let me just say, this is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah. I'm
I
trying
don't
to figure out
want my
what you're
children
going to say. Okay.
to be the type of kids that microwave grilled cheese and then say, here's a grilled cheese.
Have you ever had my grilled cheese?
Listen, I'm putting my palm in the face of a guy who tries to give me microwave grilled cheese.
Have you ever had it?
I have not.
Okay. Then.
Okay, you're right. I'm being very close-minded.
Because I know what's going to happen. One day you're going to be home,
Yeah.
and you're not going to be in the mood to pull out a pan. And
We don't have
whatever.
a microwave, Marco.
Oh, you don't have a microwave?
No, it's
okay.
not
So
gonna
heat
happen
it in
my
the
house.
salamander then.
Salamander.
Oh, you don't have a
Of
salamander?
course we have a salamander.
Okay, so then heat it in
Why
the
don't I use
Actually,
a griddle
I'm going to be
pan?
honest with you. At the time when I was a kid, we didn't have a microwave. We had, what do you call those things that they're like little ovens you would like
An
open
easy
up.
bake Betty Crocker
No,
oven?
no, the proper ones for households.
A toaster oven?
A toaster oven. I would use the toaster oven. I wouldn't use a microwave. I use a microwave today because we don't have a toaster oven. But when I was a kid, I used to put those babies in the toaster oven, plunge the little toaster oven thing down, ping,
I'm
it
going to
was
tell
ready.
you something. That's fine. That's called a toasted cheese sandwich.
No, it's called the grilled cheese in my house.
There's no grill, bro. Where's the grill? Have some respect.
I don't need to. That's what I made as a kid. You know what I taught my niece to make?
Let's hear. And how old is she, by the way?
She's 8, turning 9, but I taught her this last year. So I think she was 7, turning 8. I taught her how to make espresso coffee in the espresso maker, the Bialetti.
that you put on the stovetop.
Yeah.
Would you trust her? Like you just sit in the living room and go, "Hey, Go make me an
No,
espresso?
not yet.
Not yet.
But I taught her
But
the
that's where we're gonna
procedures.
go,
I
yeah.
told her like what each thing was called and how much water you have to put in and the vessel, and I explained how it worked. And now she's like, Zio Marco, do you want me to make you a coffee? And I'll be like, yep. And I'll be there with her as she does it.
Zio, by the way, for those who don't know, means jerk. So
right.
jerk
Jerk
Marco.
Marco
Yeah.
means uncle.
Uncle, I know. Zio,
And
Zio.
then I'll put it on the stove, and I just tell her, I go, you make the best coffees. And I'm doing that for when I get older,
Yes,
and she's
of
older, and
course.
I don't have to leave the couch, and I can say,
Encouragement is so
Mia,
important.
can you make your Zio coffee?
Yeah.
And because I'm telling her how great her coffees is, which is not a lie, she makes great coffee because
Yeah.
I'm there to make sure it's the proportions I
Right.
like. She's always like, I've been told I make the best coffees. I go, your coffees I enjoy more than anyone else's coffee. She's happy, and together we're
Sure.
making coffee. So that's how I approach that.
I hope that works out for you. I'm doing that same sort of lying brainwashing with my son.
Is
who's
it working?
4.
Okay.
Who knows? What I say to him is like, buddy, you're the best eater in the house. Nobody eats as well as you do.
And is he?
He does. Right now, yeah. But before him, the 7-year-old was the best eater in the house. Then all of a sudden, gagging on mushrooms.
Oh, man.
I don't like pineapple. It makes my throat itchy. I don't like this cheese. I'm like, what, buddy, what happened? What happened to the guy who
That was the best eater.
remembered everything?
He lost his title.
Yeah, exactly. He's been dethroned.
Is it difficult when you have a child who doesn't like something or has an allergy to something for you if you like that food item?
It's a goddamn nightmare.
Like, give me an example.
No, it's not a nightmare. That's too much. Because I don't shit on allergies with kids. That's no fault of their own.
Right.
Right? You can't do anything.
I blame
about
the
that.
parents a little bit.
I mean, I would like to.
You
I would
should
like
have had
to.
better genes.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Okay. So you don't blame the parents. You don't. Sorry, that's me pouring water, not peeing
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
cup.
No, you
Okay.
don't have to apologize for that, I don't think. You wet yourself out of
Yeah,
fear of all the children who will write in and be like, "We'll kill you, bro."
No, but seriously. Okay, so
Look, I
what's
know
your experience?
I don't have
allergies.
fussy. No, I don't
Okay.
have fussy eaters. Kids are not fussy eaters.
Mm-hmm.
That said, they're not exactly enjoying everything I'm making for them either. And my wife has to yell, like, "Don't you understand? Papa was a chef for 12 years. You're not going to get food like this anywhere." So there's a lot of that. They're like, "Yeah, it's fine, thanks." Like,
Right.
I'm after 3 hours of slaving over a nice
Sure.
dinner, I'm taking like 7 pictures of it for Instagram. They're like, "Thanks." They don't have the appreciation
Sure.
for food. And
My friend, I remember as a kid, my family, my mom and my grandmother making pasta with the pasta maker,
Yeah.
rolling it out, making fettuccine and having it, and not giving it a second thing, thinking this is what we do.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we made pasta, but I miss those days today. I can think
course.
about it. It's like, why didn't I enjoy that pasta more?
That's
Why
the
wasn't I present when I was having
and that
it?
is the goal,
Yeah.
to make sure that my kids grow up to have nothing but regret.
Sure.
To recognize that they were awful
Yeah.
and
As you were.
unappreciative.
As you were to your
As
mom.
I was,
Yeah, there you go.
man. Dude, if one of my kids said this tastes like shit, they're gonna go live in the yard for 3 days. They're gonna I'm like, you're out. You're not allowed in.
My friend, I cut you off, sorry, halfway through what you were saying.
Man, I don't even remember what I was
Okay,
saying.
so-
I'm on top of the world here, but I'm just saying that the bottom line is here, when do you get your kids to cook? Because now we kept saying soon. Now my eldest is 16. Let's say she moves away in a year from now. All of a sudden it's hitting me. What is she going to be able to make
Yeah.
for herself? She's going to live on cereal and cheese sandwiches the
Right.
rest of her life? This
Sure.
is terrible.
Grilled cheese, yeah.
So anyway, I'd love to know how, and I'm a chef for God's sake. Like,
Right.
I'm an embarrassment to myself.
No, why?
Or somebody asks my daughter, like, "Oh, what does your dad do?" And well, he does a bunch of things, but he
Yeah.
was a chef for many years.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, "Really? Didn't you just put
But can't you
3
teach
slices
her
of
the
cheese?"
basics and say, here's what I used to do when I was a kid. I used to make these omelets. Let me show you how I do it. Here's the sandwich.
I don't
now
really
I want
like
you to,
eggs. I don't know if I would make the omelet. That's going to be her thing, Like
you
she
say,
doesn't-
I don't care. I want you to make it for me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
You know, there's one thing that I detest, and this happens everywhere, where you go to a restaurant and they have a kids menu, and they got the same 3 things on a kids menu: chicken fingers, hamburger,
Yeah.
fries. They don't do that in Europe. You don't go to a restaurant in Europe where they're like, "Oh, would you like a kids menu for your child?" It's like, no, this is what we have. Does your kid want to eat good food or not?
Marco, my wife and I fight about very little.
Okay.
Which is amazing, because she should be fighting with me regularly on what an
Sure.
idiot. But that's the one thing. We go to a restaurant,
Yeah.
and now she's 16, but when she was 15, still sometimes she'd be like, "Can I just get something from the kids menu? I'm not that hungry."
Right.
And I'd be like, "No."
Yeah.
And my wife would be like, we're in a restaurant, let them eat what they want. I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, we're in a restaurant
Yeah.
so that these guys can appreciate different food
Yes.
and learn how to eat stuff that's out of their comfort zone, which is like quite pathetic to begin with.
Sure.
You know? So, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear from listeners about that. I just despise the kids' menu.
Yeah. I took my niece, so she came over. This was last year. She was 8. And we're like, we're going to take you to a proper fancy restaurant, I said to her. And she was really excited. She goes, can we have appetizers? I said, yes, we can have whatever you want, right? And she was really into, like, she wanted to, like, talk to waiters and stuff. I remember her saying, I would say, waiter, this and that. So we take her to this place near our house that does pizzas and pastas. So we're there. We're like, and it's kind of a fancy looking place because it used to be an interior design shop that they made into a restaurant.
nice.
So it looks fancy, but it's really casual dining, right? But we knew it would impress her. And when I called and I made the reservation, I said, I'm taking my niece. It's going to be her first.
Baldassare?
No, it's called. That's a great. No, it's. I can't think of it now. We had our.
We'll tag it in Instagram.
We'll tag it. It's so good too. Terrazza. Terrazza on Harvard Street. Have you been there?
Are you kidding? That's my friend who owns that
Frankie
place.
Pizza.
Frankie Lasagna.
Frankie Lasagna.
Yeah.
I know a Frankie Pizza. That's why I said Frankie
that's
Lasagna
hilarious.
is fantastic. We
That's
need
my
to get him on the
buddy,
show. Yeah, it's a great restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
You've eaten there, right?
Yeah,
it's
we've eaten
beautiful
there
inside.
Dozens of times.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, we got to go there. It's like around the corner, my
I
friend.
know.
Okay,
That's
we'll
crazy.
go. We'll go.
So where's this? We're both. Anyway, sorry for anybody who doesn't live in Toronto, but if you do, La Terrazza is to be tried.
And
Wonderful.
it's a place where it's like you're only going to see locals. It's not going to be bullshit. Great
Yeah.
food. All right. So I take her there, right? And as soon as they get there, they're like, "Oh, is this Mia? Is this? Oh, we got the perfect." They had a beautiful table. I wasn't expecting this. They had a beautiful booth table. They put her on the chair that was like the prime chair, and she felt like glamorous. I was parking the car. I get back there, and my wife and my niece had been looking at the menu. I'm like, "All right." And like the waiter comes, and I'm like, "Oh, I know what I'm going to have." And my niece is like, "I know what I'm going to have." And my wife's like, I know what I'm going to have. My niece is like, I'll have the salmon with the broccoli. And I'm like, looking at the menu, and it's like the highest priced item on the menu. And I'm like, I thought she's going to have a pizza or a pie. She's like, I'll have the broccoli with salmon. And as an appetizer, I'll have I can't remember what she had. But once again, she picked an appetizer that I wouldn't expect a kid to have. Like, it wasn't like mozzarella sticks. She picked I'll have the bacala with the side squares or whatever she had. I'm like, who is this person, right? And then at the end, she goes, I know you went to a lot of trouble to bring me to a nice restaurant. Thank you. I was like, wow, like who's...
That's heartwarming.
This is like my niece at 8.
That's heartwarming.
So,
then you go, thank you so much. Also, you owe me $40.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here to...
her
spend that kind of
meal
money.
was like $52. Mine and my wife's meal was like, 22.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this is the lesson you learn when you have a
Lesson you
kid
learn
who's a
when
bit
you
of
let
a
a kid drink,
gourmet.
Sambuca shots.
But yeah, that was a fun experience. And I think it was because in my sister's home, and my mom will cook, and she'll be like, my mom will cook what everyone's going to have, and my niece and nephew, they just eat it.
Yeah.
And if they don't eat it, my sister's just, I don't care if you're not going to eat it, but I want you to try it. I want you to at least try it.
That's our house. So we've been working on that whole angle.
Sure.
The rule is you try everything. You don't have to fill your plate with it. I'm not trying to stuff my kids beyond belief, but you try everything, no matter what. Oh, you don't feel like eating that too much? Especially with the younger ones. They have days where they're not that hungry. Then you know that another day's coming where they're just going to be an
ravenous.
empty pit.
Sure.
You know? So you're like, okay, that's fine. But the making their own food, I just live in fear all the time. So I think I got to get them to make salads, bean salads, salad dressings.
A caprese salad is really easy to make.
Sure,
it has 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
You can explain it's the color of the Italian flag,
Yeah.
a bit of
Those
olive
3
oil.
ingredients being basil leaves, cheese, bocconcini,
Bocconcini, yep.
and then tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Yeah.
You can even use burrata. We were talking about burrata, how much we love burrata. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Do you have basil growing in your garden right now?
I don't.
Oh, you don't, eh?
I don't.
The grocery store across the street is selling it for a big bunch for next to nothing.
I'm well known for killing a basil plant regularly.
Well, why don't you get your kids to grow it? You say, I bought you a present.
Yeah.
I want you to take care of this.
I love
I'm going
it.
to teach you how to make
I love it.
stuff with
But
it.
this is exactly, that farm to table idea. The idea is, with your kids, it's like, look at where food comes from and then look at how you can put it in meals.
Imagine we lived in California where we could grow things in our garden all year round.
I got a buddy, one of my closest friends, calls me every month. My lime tree's doing well. Oh. My mangoes are ripe. Shut up. Stop calling me.
I knew a guy who was like, we have this stupid grapefruit tree in front of our house, and it makes all these grapefruits, and they fall to the ground. And I'm like, why are you letting them fall to the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, because, the first years we were really into it, and then we were like, oh, we're not going to make grapefruit jam. We're not going to make this. I'm like, You've offended me in so many ways.
So many ways. I know.
You do not let good fruit go to waste. You learn to eat the grapefruit when it's grapefruit time. You eat that grapefruit.
Well, this buddy of mine has some friends in Long Beach. We went to their house, 2 orange trees in their front yard. Not a large home.
Yeah.
2 orange trees in the front yard. So what they do is they have the neighborhood kids come.
Yes.
They go, this is the stick. Nobody climb up the trees.
No.
I'm not trying to pay
Here's the
any
stick.
lawsuits.
Yep.
Use this stick and you can take as many
Beautiful.
oranges as you want.
in my household, my dad had a 2-tiered garden. And you know what it's like when you have zucchini, right?
Yeah.
Zucchini is ready.
It flourishes.
And you just got to be able to eat the zucchini.
Yeah.
That's it. So we would start with the zucchini blossoms. Then it was like zucchini with every meal, made in different ways. And you don't make if you make a twisted face, you're not going to get another plate in front of you. You eat that zucchini.
Yeah.
And now, whatever. Zucchini's not my favorite, but I will eat it because I know there's nothing better than eating something that was freshly picked from your backyard.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, get your kids out there. Get them acquainted with food from like step one to the final step when it goes in their mouth. And tell me what the first thing your kids cooked on a stove.
And tell me
And
how
were
you
you worried?
make grilled cheese.
Yeah. Please write in and school this guy. Thank you
This
so
was a
much.
bit of a maxi episode. We
Oh,
went
no.
over a mini episode time, but I hope you enjoyed it.
It's passion. When somebody starts with something as offensive as your grilled cheese recipe, we're obviously going to go over that.
I'm going to have people write in and say, I tried your grilled cheese, your non-grilled grilled cheese sandwich, and it was the best thing I've had.
That'll be an issue.
All right, we'll see.
Okay. All right. Take care. We'll see you again soon.
We hope you got your fill of Eat and Drink with Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast Eat Drink. Email them your cocktail and food suggestions to podcasteatdrink@gmail.com. Until the next episode, bottoms up.